everyone, it's Tani Games here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with a Discord Dreamsnap review video, and this time is for the Hola Casitia Dreamsnap challenge. I am very excited to get into this and have a look at the amazing creations that you've all come up with. Obviously I had to stand in front of the toilet shrine, of course, for this video. It just felt like the right spot to do this introduction. I'm not sure when I'm going to tear this down. Maybe it just needs to be a permanent feature in the valley, who knows. But you've all done amazingly with your dream snaps this week. They all look really good, so I'm very excited to get into this. Before I do just want to say, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel if you're interested in staying tuned. Stay tuned in for more Disney Dreamlight Valley content. I promise you, I can speak. Words are hard. But let's jump over to Discord now and have a look at what amazing creations you've come up with. So we are going to start off here with Winter Dragonfly. I absolutely love this submission. I think this is absolutely incredible. I love the placement of the mirrors above the bed. I just think that looks so cool. I love the fact that you've gone with a very musical kind of theme in this room. I think that's so unique. I think it's a wonderful choice and direction to make. And with the red kind of like show curtain background, it's just so fitting and it works together so beautifully. This is a really nicely decorated room as well, like in terms of the setup, like the flooring with that red rug and the backdrop and the bed. It's very pretty. This is a nicely decorated room. I really like the theming of this. I think it's really fun, really playful, a great way of showcasing the theme, and I love how it looks like your character is singing into the microphone, which I think is again a lovely little detail. I absolutely love the creativity with this. I think this is super fun. And now we have your second account. I love the theming of this room. I love the dark vibes. I love that it's very cohesive, like everything goes together very nicely. I love how it's decorated. I love the kind of like space window in the background, just with those purple colors in it. I think it ties in really nicely to the decor of the room. I love how you've done the two I think they're called a Slytherin rug, like because they've got like the snake kind of detail around it, but I love how you've placed one on either side of the bed. I think that's quite nice because it almost looks like the rug is extended, like it's longer than what it actually is. So I kind of like that choice in terms of decor. But this is a very cohesive room. I love how your character matches with it as well. I love this. I think this is a super fun submission. Next up, we have a submission from Flame G, and I really love this. I love how it almost feels like your room is underwater. This is honestly great placement here with these magnolia wall arches. They almost feel like portals into another world, and I love that. It really looks like they're portals that go into the sea kind of thing, which works really well for how your character is decorated. I really love this because it has a lot of the elements that I would expect to see with a room, but it's still done outdoors. It still has that outdoorsy element and things like that, so I think it works really nicely. The little touches with the bubbles here, again, nice little bit of detailing. The starfish patterned around the kind of like the rug where your character is standing. Also, I love that you've got the light behind your character. Now I'm assuming that was for lighting reasons, but what I love is it almost looks like it gives your character like cat ears. I'm sorry, I know that probably wasn't the intention, but I just love it. I think it looks so cute. Like, this looks like a whole new hairstyle. It's adorable. I love this. I love this, by the way. I think it's so cute. But Yeah, I just love the detailing with this. I need to, when I do a dream snap, I need to work on doing a dream snap with this kind of like portal idea vision or something like that. Because obviously Luanil does it very well. You've executed this brilliantly as well. So I really want to give my hand at giving it a go. Because I think this is just such a fun setup. So maybe I need to keep an eye out for a challenge where this kind of like almost like portal-esque kind of like vision would work, because I love this. I think this is absolutely spectacular. It's such a beautiful shot, really well set up, really well decorated. It just captures the vibes of this whole challenge perfectly. This is going to be high ranking, definitely. Next up, we have a submission from Strawberry Blonde, and this is very, very fun. I love how sort of arts and crafty kind of vibe this is, like with the fabric kind of like shelf. I couldn't think what it was called then. A fabric shelf. We've also got the Encanto one. We also have like the craft pin board on the wall here. You know, the stool here with the thread on it. It definitely feels very arts and crafty, like even with the sewing table here. So I really love the playfulness of this shot. I think it's super fun. I love the vibes in this shot. It's nice that you've got Mirabelle as well. I think for voters, they're going to like to see Mirabelle. Not everyone will need to see Mirabelle, by the way. I just want to stress that. But I think some people might see Mirabelle and go, oh, I like that Mirabelle's in the shot kind of thing. So I think that was a nice little touch and stuff like that. I think this room goes together very, very nicely. And I think you've done a really good job. Next up, we have a submission from Luanil. And this is so beautiful. Look at these birds. Oh, the placement of the birds is so good. All the companions, all the critters, they work together so, so nicely. I love all the foliage elements as well. I think they work together really, really nicely. This definitely feels like almost like a mix of Antonio's room with the animals and Isabella's room with all the floral elements and the flowers and stuff. It really works together nicely. Again, I love that you've got those room elements in with the bed and the fireplace and stuff like that. It really kind of feels like a room that someone would come back to. You know, there's a place for her to sleep and things like that, which I think is important in a room setup. So I really like that you've included that. I love the colours in this shot. It just feels very vibrant and colourful. I love how you've dressed your character and obviously the inclusion of Mirabelle as well. I think this all works together very, very nicely. It's a fantastic shot. So brilliant job on this submission. Next up, we have a couple of submissions from Amy B. Now, firstly, we have this submission, which is so bright and vibrant. I love the kind of like the way the green really pops in this submission. I love that you've caught Mirabelle dancing. What a beautiful twirl of her skirt as well. That's like really nicely animated there. It just sort of really nicely flows out, which I think is wonderful. All the items go together really, really nicely. I love this frog wall lamp. I think it goes really nicely with the wallpaper and things like that. I just love the vibrancy of this shot. I think it's really, really vibrant, and I love that kind of like eye-catching submission and things like that. So I think this is really good. Then we have your next submission, which you've gone for kind of like a Bruno-esque vibe with this. I think this is super fun. I do see quickly in the background with your text, I probably should have read it earlier, but I see a duplicate of Bruno. So maybe it's Antonio trying to be Bruno. I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna have to read it. I'm so sorry. I should have read it first. But again, I love this kind of mix of the outdoors, but still got that room feel, like with the bed, with the wardrobe. I love the way the flooring is done with these rugs as well. I think they go together quite nicely. And just again, it captures that room feel while still being kind of like outdoorsy and showing the wonder of a madrigal room kind of thing and the scope that it can be. So yeah, I really love that. I think this is a super fun submission. Okay, so quick add-on here, just because I feel like it's worth mentioning, because I did read through the text. Okay, so you didn't want your character to be a duplicate of Bruno. Okay, that totally makes sense now. But you've put about his magical spell, not spell, but like power, being that he can sort of transform into animals, and this is his transformation into a capybara. So I do love that. I thought it was worth adding on just as a sort of post edit. Well, I say post edit, like literally I'm recording this, but I've just read the text and I felt like it was important to add on. So yeah, this is not a duplicate of Bruno. This is not meant to be Bruno. It's someone entirely different, and their ability to transform into animals, which I think is awesome. So great job on that. Next up, we have a submission from Pupster and Luca. I should always say Pupster and Luca, really, since it is a joint effort from you both. I love this. I think this is super fun. I love that you've gone with a gaming theme room. I know that you've like kind of said that like maybe it might be sort of not as successful with it being sort of not having anything to do as such with Casita, but I love this. I think this is awesome. I love that kind of like, I guess your room or Luca's room would be centered around gaming. I mean, realistically, that's probably what mine would be. So I love it. I mean, we're all playing this game kind of thing in this community, or at least I hope we are. But yeah, like I think it kind of makes sense that you would have like a gaming room, and I think it really fits the theme of the challenge. I think it's a unique setup. You know, not a lot of other people have done a gaming room as far as I'm aware. So I really love that kind of like playfulness of it all. Hopefully the tags don't harm you too much. I imagine there's a lot of people this week with lower tags though, especially with it being like kind of like a room challenge. A lot of people will have done indoor submissions, so I can see people struggling with the tags. Like I must admit, when I did my I'll say a practice run. It wasn't really a practice run, but I sort of wanted to create a setup that I would create if my husband wasn't doing my snap. And I deliberately set up a wall kind of section where I could hide tags behind. And yeah, it wasn't my tags weren't too high, to be honest, and I even set that up. So honestly, doing something with like proper intention where everything in the room is sort of meant to be in the room kind of thing, I can see why this is definitely a challenge. So I hopefully it doesn't harm you too much. As I said, I imagine a lot of people will be on the lower end of tags perhaps this week anyway, with it being sort of almost like a room challenge. So I imagine a lot of people have gone with a indoor snap. But great job on this one. Next up, we have a submission from Emmy, and I just any piece of photo, any photo that I see that comes from Emmy, I'm just like, wow, wow, I'm in awe, wow. Wow. I love this. I absolutely adore this setup. I love this room. Honestly, the vibes in this room are so fun. I love how your character is dressed. I think that goes really nicely with the room setting as well. I love how it's framed with like the foliage. Yeah, I really love this kind of look. It like we've got a super kind of like almost like zoomed in shot of the room, like we're only seeing a snapshot of it, but I really love it. Obviously the picture quality on this is is so impressive. I also love the outfit that your character is wearing. It's very much an outfit that I can see my character in. Like certainly I have done the combo of the shoes, the socks, the skirt, the cardigan, and like possibly going with that same top choice as well. So I absolutely love this photo. I think this is fantastic. This makes me so happy to see, and I really vibe with this. I think it's a beautiful snap. Next up, we have a submission from We Be Blurdy, and this is a lovely snap. Can I just point out the sort of like decor on the wall here with like the clocks and also the kind of like the wall lamps? That's just such a lovely little feature. I love that. I love the creativity of creating kind of like a feature piece, a wall piece, by using these clocks and wall lanterns. I think that's super fun. I'd never considered to do something like that, but it works really, really nicely. Like, okay, side note, this, it kind of reminds me of A Little to the Left, where sometimes you have to place things so it creates like a flowing pattern where like the joins of one item match with the joins of another. Like, that's kind of how this feels, like with the curve and then the inward curve, and then this one comes out, and yeah, it just kind of fits perfectly, which I love. I love that you've got the table full of food. I think that's such a lovely little detail. I love the little froggy in front of the guitar. I think that's super cute. You've got Mirabelle here as well, which again, nice little touch. I think a lot of people will be excited to see Mirabelle in the snap. I love how this is decorated. I kind of love the clutter court design and things like that. And you've also got Daisy as well, which is a nice addition. I think her outfit matches very nicely with this setup that you've got going on. So also, hold on a minute. Something I'm just noticing, these lights, they're clipped through the vinyl. I had no idea you could sort of do that. So it seems like you can put the wall items on, and then because the vinyl isn't attached to the wall, I guess for some reason it doesn't register as like a obstruction. Like, you know how sometimes you can place things behind like cupboards and things like that. That is so cool. I love the way the lights come out of the vinyl. That is so beautiful. I'm gonna have to steal that idea in like a decor build or something like that, because that is such a lovely little touch. I love that. Next up, we have a submission from Nia here, and I really, really love this. I love the framing of this. The framing of this photo is actually really, really nice, really kind of like artistic. I love how your character looks. We've got Mirabelle here. She looks lovely. I love that we've got the bed in the background, kind of like secluded away. Nice touch to use this bath item, by the way. I love that. Like, I wouldn't think to include this item, but this works really nicely, especially with some of the tones of this room. I think it all goes together really well. So this is a really nicely decorated piece. I think this is a great, great submission. Next up, we have a submission I made for my husband. Now, my husband is a big fan of raccoons, like, so I kind of thought, you know what, why not make an animal kind of theme dream? And I was thinking of different ways to do it, and then I was like, okay, well, raccoons often called trash pandas, so why not make a room that's a little bit trashy? I'm not sure how well this is going to go down in voting, but I just thought it was really fitting with the raccoons, so I set it up like how I imagine a typical like student room would be, but just filled with like a bunch of trash. So I put a bunch of the like sock piles. I did want to use some of the snotty tissues, but I couldn't find them on my husband's account. I'm pretty sure he's done the questing, and I couldn't find them to buy them from Scrooge. So I was very confused. So I was like, okay, well, I obviously can't do that. But I have no idea where they've gone. No idea whatsoever. So I couldn't add those in, otherwise I would have included those too. But yeah, I've included as many raccoons as I can. Realistically, I probably should have done this setup in the forest. Because if I did it in the forest, I could also use whatever raccoons were in the forest to add to the shot, and just sort of include a few more that way. But overall, I think it's quite good. I do wish the angle was a bit different. I probably should have done the trick where you can like put something in front of you and get a bit more of a zoomed in shot, but I didn't think about that when I set up this shot for placement and stuff like that. But I think overall it's kind of fun. Hopefully the vibes get across as to what this kind of shot is meant to be, and hopefully people like it. Next up, we have a submission from Glitch here, and I really love this. I love that you've basically sort of set up the different madrigals. So we've got Mirabelle here, you've done like an Isabella, we've got Bruno here as well. So I love that you've kind of like included those in your shot. Again, I think that's something that some people will really like to see, is to see those characters. So I think that's a wonderful addition. I love how you've pretty much covered the room in the like the vine wall item. I think that works really nicely, to be honest. I wonder, oh no, I do think that is wallpaper there. I was curious. I was like, I wonder if you've been able to divide the room a bit to hide some tags. Like if you place the vine wall down and then use that as like a sectioning point so you could hide a bunch of tags behind it. But I don't think you have, because I think that's the wallpaper there. But either way, that's kind of irrelevant. I still love this room. I love this painting table sort of like placed between the vine walls. I just think it's really nice, and I love this kind of setup where it looks out the window and things like that. The new wicker basket looks lovely. Honestly, I'm so glad that Gameloft listened to me on that and put in the wicker basket. I mean, obviously they pretty much didn't listen to me, but like I can pretend, okay? I can live in my fantasy land where they saw my video and was like, you know what, this girl is right. Let's give her these items. I'll live in that false reality. But no, I love this. Great shot. Next up, we have a submission from Jessiicaj, and this is really cute. I love all the books, and then you've also got like the book pile on the floor and things like that. I love how that works together. I love that you've got the like books on the dresser here next to the little like lily pad light. I think that's super cute. We've also got Mirabelle mid-twirl here, which again, nice to see. Obviously it's got this room set up. It's really nicely decorated. I think all the items go together very nicely. I think you've done a really good job with decorating this room setup. It looks lovely. So honestly, a great effort here. Fantastic job with this submission. So next up, we have the 3 submissions from Melissa. So we have Melissa's main, Melissa's alt, and also her daughter's account. So we're starting off here with the main account submission, and this is really nice. I love this room setup. I love all the piles of books. I love that it's kind of clear that that's the theming through your room, is that we've got all these books and stuff like that, and it does go together very nicely. I think the colours in this are great. I love how you've dressed your character. I love the floating lanterns. I think they add a nice bit of sort of texture to kind of like the ceiling to the top end of the photo, because obviously when you take these indoor submissions, we all have that same boring kind of like ceiling. So I love seeing people who put like either the bellflower lights or the like vines, or even stuff like this where they use the floating lanterns, or even, you know, using the fireflies, or even using lighting to kind of like just break up this kind of like boring patch of beige. I love that you've got these lanterns here. I think again it just adds a bit of kind of like texture or dimension to the top part of the photo. I think all the items in here go together very nicely. I love the sort of like paintings above the painting table, a nice little bit of detail there as well. So great job on your main. Now this is your alt account, and I love this. Again, I love that kind of like crafty sewing material vibe. Like you've put down like the fiber and the fabric and things like that, which goes together very nicely. We've got the stool here, we've got the craft table, we've got the fabric here and the mannequin, so it's quite clear kind of like what your whole room theme is here. I think it goes together very nicely. I think this is wonderfully decorated, a nice bright shot, very clear and concise as to the theming, so great job on this one. And next up we have your daughter's submission, and this is cute. I love that she's included all the kind of like Mirabelle items. We've got the bed, we've got the fabric here. Great choice with the the like wallpaper. We've got Mirabelle and her butterflies, which I think a lot of people will be looking out for, and we've got like the Casita tables and things like that. So nicely done for your daughter's account. It is, like you said, I did see your comment saying it's a little bit plain, which, you know what, she's young, I know you know that, and everything like that. I love seeing the effort she puts in. I think it's fun to see the younger community and players be involved with the game and try their best at dream snaps and things like that. So it's always a joy to see. So thank you very much for sharing. Next up, we have a submission from Kat, and I really like this. It has a really cozy, kind of like homely vibe. Like maybe it's just because of the big table full of the food, and maybe the draping of the curtains, but it just goes together really nicely, and it just feels like very cozy, which I think is super nice. Obviously, I feel like this room is kind of like centered on food and family and stuff like that, which I think is a lovely little vibe. Again, something a bit kind of unique in a sense. I love the decor at the top with the vines hanging down and these lights. I think they go together very nicely. And this framing with the cactus plants, again, is kind of fun. It's not something that I see use, so I think that's a really fun little touch as well. Great job with including Mirabelle as well. Like I've said before, I think a lot of people will be excited to see her. But yeah, well done on this snap. I think it's a lovely creation. Next up, we have a submission from Jessiicaj, and this is so gorgeous. It's so vibrant and colourful. The colours in this picture really pop, which I think is lovely to see. I love that we've kind of got like the bed set up here, but then we've got like kind of like a seating area here, which is very nice. There's almost like not a full symmetry, but like a slight symmetry with like the fabric in the background, the two vine walls as well. I think again kind of just creates this false sense of symmetry, which is quite nice to see. I love the flowers at the front. I think they add a nice bit of dimension to the foreground, and I love how your character is dressed, and you've caught Mirabelle sort of mid-twirl, which again is really nice to see. So great effort on this snap. I think it's a very good one. Next up, we have a submission from Ev Error, and I really like this. It's so vibrant and colourful. I love that because we've got this kind of like blinding light in the background here by this gazebo. It really makes Mirabelle pop. It really adds a lot of really good kind of like backlighting to the shot, which I think is lovely to see. I love the food at the front. This looks so good. I really like this, and we've got like the celebration baskets and things like that here. The placement of the birds is really good. I do see that you've got a bed in the background here as well, so you do have those elements of a room, but it's still kind of got like a bit of an outdoorsy feel. So I really like this. I think it's really nicely decorated. The colours in this are just magical. This is going to be a high ranking snap for sure. Yeah, this is going to score very highly. Next up, we have a couple of submissions from Sunny. I really love this room. This room's got such a lovely rustic vibe to it. I love the placement of the pillars here. It kind of creates like its own separate section, which we've got here with the seating and the painting and stuff like that. I think that works really nicely. I love the orange colours within this room. I think they really add a nice warmth to it. I love the flower placements. The flower placements is nice. Again, sort of making use of filling in the sort of ceiling with items just so it doesn't feel so sort of bland at the top. I really love that choice of decor. I did not know that plant could go on this shelf. I didn't realise it was such a small, it must obviously only be the one square. I didn't realise. Oh, that's nice to see. I really need to use these shelves more. I don't use them because I usually struggle with them. For some reason, they always seem to flip the wrong way round, and I can't get items on them, and it's such a hassle. But this is lovely. I really like this. I love the table with the food. I think that's nice as well. Yeah, this is just a wonderful shot. I really enjoy this one. I think this is a very good submission. And then we have your next submission. Oh my god, see again, it's the lights and the vine wall. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay, right. I really, really love this. I really, really love this. I love this. Oh my gosh. Wait, no, because this is really pretty. Okay, I think I'm in love with your character. I love how she's dressed. I love her hair. I love the wings. This outfit goes together so beautifully. I love your character. She's lovely. She's lovely. I love the flames at the front. I think they add a nice bit of sort of vibrancy to the shot. The lanterns with the vines and the fireflies again goes together really, really nicely. I love this placement of the plants leading up to the top end of the room. I think that's really nicely decorated. But I'm in love with this placement of these lights through the vine wall. That's just, I love that. I really, really love that. That's just such a like, oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I need to decorate like this. This is so cool. Honestly, no joke. This is so, so cool. I do. I really, really like that. I really like that. Great job on this snap. So next up we have my alt account submission. So this is one I did. I was a little bit inspired by Nolan's use of I think Nolan's used these red trees in their snap. And I kind of really like that. So I thought I'd include it in mine. I went with like a floral theme. I did create this snap outdoors, obviously, but I thought this tile flooring worked really well because you do sometimes see tile flooring like this in homes. So I thought it worked nicely, and then paired with this like homey rug, I felt like the textures matched. The one thing I don't like is actually the wall choice. Originally I went with the white bookcases because I thought they offered a nice clean backdrop, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm wondering if I should have gone with the brown bookcases to go with those warm tones. I don't know. I'm starting to doubt myself a little on that now, seeing this compared to the other snaps. Again, I wanted to have those room elements, so I did include a bed, I included a wardrobe, I included a dresser, but then I sort of filled the area with plants and things like that because I really wanted to kind of emphasize that. I went for a bit of like a kind of like fairy theme with it as well. Like maybe she's kind of like got this garden fairy ability, and I went with green for her outfit to really tie into those kind of like outdoor greenery vibes. I'm not sure how well this is gonna do, but I kind of enjoyed setting this up. I do see a lot of things that I could do differently that I think would improve the snap. But I think overall it's an alright one. It's an alright one. Next up we have a submission from Vinnie Luca, and I love this. Again, a really unique choice, and I love that. I love that we've gone with this sort of Chinese influence in terms of room. Like we've got Mulan here. It's like you are both training together, practicing your skills and stuff like that, which I think is super fun. I love that. I love like this I didn't realize this wallpaper glowed this much. I did not know it did that. Because I'm assuming that's from the actual wallpaper itself, but that's really nice. I love how that kind of glows. It almost feels like there's other rooms hidden kind of thing, like behind there, like as if maybe there's like a hallway and stuff like that, which I think is wonderful to see. I love how it's decorated. It's really nice. It definitely fits the vibe of your room. I really like how this has come together, and I think it works really, really nicely. Do you know what I also like is that the way Mulan's posing here, it almost looks like this trophy is kind of attached to her like staff here, which I think is kind of cool, like a little bit of the trick of the imagination or the eye or whatever, you know, like yeah, I just like that. I think it's really fun. Next up, we have a submission from Say Hi Joel, and I love this. This is so nicely decorated, and the glow from this, like the pink glow, I'm guessing that's from the Wreck-It Ralph light, like the pink abstract light. But it really offers a lovely kind of like pink spotlight, which I think is super fun. I love the foliage here with the flowers. I think that works nicely. the vine, sort of the wall piece, again, works very nicely. And I love that you've gone with this kind of like tropical-esque wallpaper to fit in with all the foliage elements. I think that works really nice. And we've got the bed in the center in the background there as well, which is nice. I think this is a wonderful submission. I think great choice with the hair as well, because it's got the flowers in it. Really keeps a nice cohesive theme, and I think the lighting's really nice in this. So great job on this snap. I think it works really, really nicely. Next up, we have a submission from Sunny Wawa, and this is so cute. I love that we've got those painting elements here with the painting table and the easel, and then we've got these windows which obviously have kind of like the paint stains on them, but I think it's really nice. Like, I can imagine your character stood here kind of looking out the view of her window and being inspired by what to paint. I love how this is set up and decorated, like the little bed elements, like this just kind of like cropping into the shot really creates this kind of like cozy little pillow section where I could imagine people hanging out and perhaps reading with all these books that we've got placed. Mirabelle looks lovely here. I love how we've got the butterflies, and again, I love this vine wall lamp, this vine wall decor kind of like divide piece, whatever you want to call it. I think that's really nice. Like, I think it just like adds a really lovely kind of like texture to the backdrop. I love the choice in the wallpaper. The wallpaper goes really well with this flooring. Now, this flooring I have sort of I would say maybe kind of like complained about in a sense. I wasn't particularly happy with how busy it was, especially when paired with the wallpaper. But I was kind of like, this could work potentially with a more neutral kind of like wallpaper, and it does. It doesn't feel so over the top, and some of that I imagine as well is your placement of these leaf kind of like rugs. Again, it just breaks up the floor patterning so it doesn't feel quite so much. It's not quite so in your face. So I think this is a really nicely decorated room. Next up, we have a submission from Bagel Rena, who's done like a crafting room, and I think that's super fun. I love that you've got this dress on. I love this dress. I'm obsessed with it. I know there's I feel like there's some people who really don't like this dress, and there's other people that kind of like love it. I'm in the camp that I love it. I love this dress. I love the shape of it and everything, and the kind of like subtlety of it in a sense. I love that we've got Mirabelle here. I love that we've got all the fabrics on the wall, you know, the craft pin board, like using the time bending pieces like the bow and the little kind of like the fabric, what are they called? You know, the guides that you have for how to patterns, the fabric kind of like pattern book. I love that you've turned a couple of the bookcases round so we can see that there's books in them. There does appear to be some light source behind there, so I do wonder if you have hidden some tags behind there potentially. I'm not entirely sure, but it's interesting to see. And again, just breaking up the ceiling with those lanterns and the fireflies is a lovely little touch as well. Next up, we have a submission from Leanne May, and oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Like, I love the foliage here. I love the blue and the pink flowers. I love that you've got a bed here. So again, it really has those room elements while still being outdoorsy, which I love to see. I love how you've decorated with the flowers and the magnolia piles. This lounging like pillow setup is super cute. I love that we've got Mirabelle here and she's sat in the chair. I think that's a lovely little detail as well. Really nicely decorated. Definitely has those room vibes. Really love the foliage elements in this. I think it works together very nicely. So fantastic job on this snap. Next up, we have a submission from Jessiicaj. Now, I really love this. I love that you've sort of modeled your character on Isabella. I love that we've got Mirabelle here. I love all the foliage pieces. I love that. I love that we've got like the elegant like trees. I forget what they're called, like the elegant potted plant, whatever it is. Some of the items from the aerial bundle, some of the flower planters, the cherry blossom trees, more planters, some of the flowers in the pots, the jubilant topiary, obviously the vine wall, you know, I had to include that. And obviously Isabella's bed as well works really, really nicely. Honestly, Isabella's bed is such a lovely, lovely piece. I understand why these pieces can't go outdoors, because they're meant to like hang off of a ceiling, but sometimes I wish we could have something like this. Like, imagine it set up as like a cozy outdoor like swing kind of setup. Like, I don't know if you've seen it, like sometimes when you go on holidays they'll have like a kind of like almost like a bed kind of setup outdoors where people can like sunbathe and relax on. Like, it really has those vibes to me, kind of thing. I would love to have some kind of piece like that for outdoor decorating. But I love this. I love the vibrancy of this shot and everything like that. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful submission. And next up we have a submission from Wolfie here, who's gone for like a darker vibes, mysterious vibes kind of setup. I love that you've got the Maleficent throne here. We've got some of the darker flowers and foliage, and also the Ursula cauldron here, and then with that water fountain coming through, really has those spells and kind of like magic vibes. And then over here we've got I believe this is the Nightmare Before Christmas fountain. So I love how that kind of like crops in and it almost feels like a cauldron. We've got like a desk here with like books and stuff. Like, I can imagine those being kind of like your spell books and things like that. Definitely got kind of like a magic witchy vibe to it. So I think this is a super fun take on the Casita room challenge. Very unique and very different. So great job on doing this snap. Well, there you go. That's the first half of the submissions from Discord for the Hola Casitia challenge. It was so fun seeing what you've all come up with, the creative ways you've done like outdoor, indoor rooms outdoors, and the way that you've kind of created theming throughout your rooms. It's really, really fun to see. So great job everyone on the challenge, and good luck for the results on Wednesday. Do stay tuned. We're going to have part 2 very, very shortly, and look through the next half of the submissions in Discord. But thank you so much to everyone who did share their snaps in Discord. If you do want to be featured in a video like this, just join the Discord and feel free to share your snaps in the Dreamsnaps channel, and I could be reviewing your snaps on a video too. But thank you so much for your time today. Do take care and have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next one.